Welcome in everybody to another lesson. Today we are going to do a little bit of statistics. We are going to discuss the mean, the median, and mode of a set of numbers. So let's get started here. Let's say we have a list of numbers here. We have 72, 83, 85, 88, and 92. It seems like I'm just throwing numbers out there, which you can do these with any random set of numbers, but the idea is you can find the mean, the average, which the mean's the average of a set of numbers, the median, which is the middle number, and the mode, which is the most frequently occurring number. Well, let's start with first thing you want to do whenever you have a list of numbers. Make sure they're in numerical order from smallest to largest. In this case, it already is. If the numbers were not in numerical order, we'd have to rewrite the list to make sure they were in numerical order. But they already are in proper numerical order, so we can go ahead and start with the problem. So to find the mean, which is the average, what you have to do is you take all your numbers that you see here in the list. Take all your numbers. So we have 72. You're going to add all these numbers together. 72 plus 83 plus 85 plus 88 plus 92. So take all these numbers, right? We're going to add them together. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Yep. And then you're going to count how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. And you take all those numbers that you've added, you'll divide it by the number of numbers that there are. In this case, there are 5. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in the calculator. I'm going to start by adding the numbers at the top in the numerator. So we have 72, 83 plus 85 plus 88 plus 92. We get 420 divided by 5. So now all you got to do is a simple division problem. 420 divided by 5, you get 84. So the average or the mean of these set of numbers is 84. Don't worry if it's not in your list. That's fine. However, your average should be somewhere in the range. The range is 72 to 92. Your average should be somewhere in that range, whether it's part of the list or not. It should be some number in that range. Okay? So that's how you find the mean, the average. Now let's talk about the median. To find the median of a set of numbers, first, again, count how many numbers there are. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. If it's an odd number of numbers, like 5 being an odd number, if it's an odd number, you literally just take the middle number. That's why it's important to write these numbers in numerical order, because if you don't, you could get skewed results and get the wrong answer, which you don't want. So the median is going to be 85. That is your middle number. Since there's 5 numbers, it's literally going to be the third number. The middle number will be your median. Then we want to look at the mode. Look at the mode. The mode is the number that occurs the most often. Do we have any number here that occurs more than once? We don't. They all occur exactly once. If that happens, you have no number that occurs more often than the other. You would say there's no mode, there's none. We don't have a mode for this set of data here. So that would be how you, so the mean, the average, once again, you take all your numbers in the list, you add them up, divide it by the number of numbers that there are, you'll get your average. The median is the middle number. If you have an if you have an odd number of numbers, it's literally the middle number. In a minute, we'll talk about what to do if there's an even number of numbers to get your median. Your mode is the most frequently occurring number. So if any of those would have occurred more than once, we would have had a value for it, but we don't in this case. But I got more examples. I do have more. All right. What's this problem here? Let's see. Good problem. All right. We have the number 5, 37, 20, 20, 35, 5, and 25. Okay, so we have 7 numbers here. We have 7 numbers, so we have 5, 37, 20, 20, 35, 5, and 25. We see that this list of numbers is not numerical order from smallest to greatest, so we need to put that in the proper order. So we'll rewrite the list. 5, 5. What's the next? Let's see. It looks like 20 would be next. 20 also occurs again. Then it looks like we have a 25. Then a 35. Then a 37. Okay, so this list rewritten in order, the proper order from smallest to largest, is 5, 5, 20, 20, 25, 35, and 37. Now we can get proper results. So let's start by finding the mean, the average. The mean being the average, you're going to take all these numbers, once again, you're going to add them up. Take all these numbers and add them up. This may seem a little daunting, but it's really not that bad. So we have, and then we're going to divide those numbers that we've added by the number of numbers that we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we're going to take all that and divide it by 7. That's how we'd get the mean. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this into my calculator. Let's do the addition first up in the numerator. So 5 plus 5 plus 20 plus 20 plus 25 plus 35 plus 37. That equals 147 divided by 7. Yeah, so we have 147 divided by 7. So let's do that real quick. I get 21. So the mean, the average of this set of data is 21. That would be the average. Now we need to find, so we got the mean, we got the average by adding up all these numbers, dividing it by the number of numbers there are. The mean is 21 in this case. The median, we'll do the median next, then we'll do the mode. So the median is going to be, what's the middle number? Again, count your numbers. If you have an odd number of numbers, like we do here, there's 7 numbers. It's literally just the middle number. So the fourth number, the middle number here of the rewritten list would be 20. So the median is 20. Now find the mode. The mode, again, are the most frequently occurring numbers. You can have more than one mode. That is possible. Well, we see 5 occurs twice, 20 occurs twice. The other three numbers only occur once. So your mode is going to be 5 and then 20. You have two modes for this one. There is 5 and 20. So median being your middle number, mode is your most frequently occurring numbers. Oftentimes you'll get one mode, sometimes you'll have two, but usually to have a mode it has to occur more than once. If you have a set of data, right, a set of numbers, and the numbers in that set, each of them only occur once, you have no mode. In order to qualify as a mode, the number has to occur more than once. So you get 5 and occurs twice, 20 occurs twice, therefore 5 and 20 are both your mode. Alright, one more list example here, and then I have a practical example here of how to apply mean. Alright, this one here. What does this one entail? We have 17, 19, 29, 18, 14, and 29. All right. Put that book down a minute. All right, so here we have another set of data. We have the numbers 17, 19, 29, 18, 14, and 29. We can clearly see this set of numbers is not in numerical order from smallest to greatest. So first thing we got to do is do so. Make that list from smallest to greatest. So smallest number is 14. Next smallest is 17. Then you got 18. Then you have, after that, you do have 19. And then you have 29 and 29. So we have rewritten the list to go from smallest being 14 to the greatest being 29. So again, let's start. Let's go ahead and find our mean, our average. So the mean, we're just going to take this list of numbers, we're going to add up all the numbers here. 14 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19 plus 29 plus 29. We're going to divide the sum of all those numbers by the number of numbers that there are. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So in this case, we're going to divide by 6 because we have 6 numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and work my calculator magic here. So let's go ahead, add up the numerator in the calculator. 14 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19 plus 29 plus 29. That's equal to 126 divided by 6. So 126 divided by 6, that is 21. So your mean number, your average number is 21. Again, of course your mean, it may not be on the list per se, but it should be somewhere in the range between 14 and 29. It should be a number that occurs within that range. Now we're going to find the median, the middle number. So This time, unlike the previous two examples, which had an odd number of numbers, we have an even number of numbers. Whenever that happens, you got to take, whenever you have an even number of numbers, you take the two numbers in the middle and find their average. So, numbers 3 and 4 would both be your middle numbers, right? And that would leave two numbers on each side of the middle. So that's how you know you found the middle. Just make sure it evens out. The median in this case is going to be the sum of the two middle numbers, 18 plus 19, and divide it by 2. It's the average of the two middle numbers, which 19 plus 18 is 37 divided by 2. 37 divided by 2, that is 18.5. Which you can get decimal numbers. You can definitely get decimal numbers out of these. So don't be alarmed if that's what you get. So the median, the middle number, is 18.5 when you add 18 and 19 together. The mode, of course, being the most frequently occurring number. Well, let's figure out what number occurs more than once. The only answer is 29. 29 occurs more than once, so the mode in this case is going to be 29. Alright, so found the mean, of course, again, by taking all those numbers, adding them up, dividing it by the number of numbers there are, which in this case was 6. We determined the mean was 21. The median, since this was an even number of numbers, you add the two middle numbers together and find their average. In this case, you would divide them by 2. Since we're only dealing with two numbers, we got a median, the middle number, of 18.5. The mode, being the most frequently occurring number that occurs more than once, was 29. That occurs more than once. And that's really all there is to these. I do have one practical example of averages, of medians. And I think this is actually going to help a lot of you, especially if you're actively in school right now, if you're in high school or college or what have you. This is going to help you a lot. So let's do one word problem here. One word problem. To get an A, Sybil must score an average of 90 on 5 tests. Scores on the first 4 tests were 90, 91, 81, and 92. What is the lowest score Sybil can get on the last test to get an A? All right. So we're talking about Sybil here. She must score an average of 90 over 5 tests in order to get an A. So she scored so far on the first 4 tests. She still hasn't taken her 5th test yet. On the first 4 tests, she's gotten a 90, a 91, and then she dropped to an 81, and then she got a 92 on her most recent test. What is the lowest score Sybil can get on the last test to get an A? So we know right away her average must be a 90. We're going to set this up here. 90 will be on the right-hand side, right? She's got 5 tests, so that would be in the denominator would be 5. This is an average of 5 tests, so the denominator's 5, right? Now we need to figure out what she's got to get. So she's gotten a 90 plus 91 plus 81. Yeah, let me bring that back a little bit. It's starting to blur together. She's gotten a 90, a 91, plus 81, plus 92. Dang it, if I could write. If I could actually write, we might get somewhere. 90 plus 91 plus... I'm going to get it. 90 plus 91 plus 81 plus 92. Alright. So the denominator is going to be 5 because it's an average of 5 tests. We're dividing all these results by 5 numbers to get an average of 90. We know 4 of her results, that she got a 90, a 91, 81, and 92. What we don't know is the 5th value, what she's going to get on her 5th test. I'm going to say, well, let's not do G. That looks bad. Let's call it N. Let's call that N. We'll let N equal test score. That'll be the test score of 5th test. Right? So, with all these added together, divided by 5, because this is over 5 tests, she needs to get a 90. What we don't know is the value of the 5th test score that she would need to get in order to get that 90 average. So, first thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to add all these numbers in the numerator of the left side. So you'll have 90 plus 91 plus 81 plus 92. So you would get 354 plus N all over 5 is equal to 90. Right? Now, the sum of the first 4 tests is 354 plus that missing 5th test value that we don't know. All that divided by 5 tests to get the average of 90. Next thing we need to do is multiply both sides by 5, and then you'll just have a single variable problem. 354 plus N is going to equal 90 times 5, which is 450. We just multiplied both sides by 5. Now, we need to figure out N. In order to get N by itself, you subtract 354 from both sides. Let's say we've done that. 450 minus 354, that's 96. So she needs to score a 96 on her last test. That bare minimum, a 96 in order to get a 90 average. So again, take what she had here. The right-hand side is the average it needs to equal, the 90. The left-hand side, the denominator, that's how many tests there were. Or how many numbers that's going to correspond to for tests. The numerator are the actual test scores plus any missing test scores. When you just divide that by 5, you should get 90. So going through, doing some multiplication and then some subtraction, we came up with the fact that she needs to score 96 or higher on her final test. And this is the tool you can use in your own class. If you decide, hey, you know, I need to figure out what score I need to get in order to get at least a 80 average or a 90 average, you know, or so on. You can use this tool to do that. But yeah, that is one of many uses of finding average of a number. So that's the only lesson we're going to do for mean, median, and mode. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. The next lesson, which will be a couple days from now, we're going to start some geometry. We're going to go into a little bit of geometry starting with the next lesson. I hope everybody has a good night. Take care.